MarathonJourney.com v4.23, where I use the Jeff Galloway run, walk, run marathon training method to cheat the forces of nature. Today was one of those things that I really can't stand, and that is a 26-mile training run. Now, we do marathons. You say, well, what's the difference between a training run at 26 miles and a marathon? No crowd support, no logistical support, so you got to carry all your own fuel and hydration, and no course, no interesting place. You got to run in the same place you're used to running, and so yeah. But 3 weeks from now, we have the Little Rock Marathon coming up, so had to do it. And this is the Storm of the Century weekend. Friday started the Pineapple Express, the fire hose from the Pacific that began dumping 1.5 inches of rain a day, and winds that were predicted to be 32 miles an hour today. And a very slight break with showers was what was predicted, but very high winds. And we've had power outages and trees going into houses and taking buildings out. It's really been awful. So we were ready for the worst on my worst type of training day. But luckily, we had not one single raindrop. Most of the day we had cloud cover. We did have some parts of the runs where the clouds broke and we had sun, and it suddenly got miserably hot, but then luckily the clouds covered the sun up again, and it got to be nice. It was breezy at times, but not at all windy. So we lucked out, and it's a good thing, because really between the goofy, having all of the family problems that we had with all the family members that were going into the hospital and having surgeries and pneumonia and all the bad things that were happening there, and having to run around with that, and then running the Frost or Fog 10-miler last week, it was really kind of took a toll on my legs. Oh, and last week was our city tournament for bowling. So teams, doubles, singles, bowling those blocks. And so when I got out to run today, my legs were dead, just absolutely dead. Still not recovered, still feeling like they did a little bit after the goofy, and I said, oh my. And after about 20 miles, I was toast, which is better than the times that I've been out, and 18 miles I've been toast. But it was okay. We got to change things up and just concentrate on one step at a time and getting it done, because we got 3 weeks before the next marathon, so we're not going to run it short. And so we did. We got out there, we just pushed. Didn't really care what our speed was, because we're building endurance, and speed really has no place on these long endurance runs. So we just got out there and did it, and ended up in one piece. I've got an Achilles that's kind of flaring up on me again, that was thankfully a bit in remission, but that bone spur that's sticking into my Achilles tendon kind of got the best of me today. And I found out something about Juji Socks. I really like them for wet running, because it keeps your toes apart so they don't rub together and get blistering. But there's one seam on the Juji sock on one toe that apparently, since I have very long toes, doesn't meet up with how they build socks, because there's a seam on the little toe, and that seam on the little toe gets in a place that gives me a blister every time I run along wearing those socks. So I don't know, I've tried 3 different types of Njinjis, and they all do the same thing, because they all are stitched the same way on the little toe. So Hey guys, I'm trying to help you out, but doesn't help me to keep my toes apart and all that stuff if you have seams that are giving me blisters. So back to Balegas we go. How about you? What have you been up to? What's on the agenda for your running? Do you have anything that is super hard that you might think you're going to be doing? Well, you know, it may not be as hard as you think, because when you get out there, it may not be windy, it may not be raining, the clouds might part, and you might have terrific weather to run. But you'll never know that unless you open up that door, put one foot in front of the other. If you do that, I'll be seeing you out here on the road.